The void stretched endlessly in every direction, cold and indifferent. Captain Rael Vex of the HFY vessel Serenth clenched his mandibles in frustration as he scanned the readouts on the failing ship's console. The reactor was failing, life support was running on emergency power, and their distress beacon had been transmitting for 2 standard cycles without a single response. They were stranded in a dead sector of space, too far from known trade routes and too deep in the abyss for their own fleet to hear them. "Still no response?" asked Lyrian, his second in command, her bioluminescent markings pulsing in a nervous rhythm. "None," Rael confirmed. "We may be alone out here." Lyrian exhaled sharply through her gills. No ships should be traveling in this sector. The likelihood of rescue is near zero. Rael knew it, but he had to try. He keyed the distress signal again. "This is Captain Rael Vex of the HFY vessel Serenth. We have suffered catastrophic engine failure and are stranded. Any vessel receiving this message, we request immediate assistance." Static filled the comms. Then, impossibly, a voice crackled through. "I hear you, Serenth." Rael stiffened. Lyrian's eyes widened. The voice was strange, rough, and unlike any HFY dialect. "This is Commander Elias Rhodes of the Terran scout ship Wayfinder. Hold tight, I'm on my way." The human factor. Rael had heard of humans. They were the newcomers to the galactic stage, known for their stubborn resilience and reckless bravery. They had expanded rapidly, despite lacking the advanced technology of the older civilizations. But what was a human doing here, in the vast emptiness? Minutes stretched into hours. The failing lights flickered. Oxygen levels were dropping. Then a proximity alert flashed on the console. A ship was approaching. Through the viewport, Rael saw the Terran vessel Wayfinder. It was smaller than their own, a compact, rugged design meant for deep space scouting. It drifted close, and then a message came through. "Serenth, I'm sending over docking protocols. I can't fix your reactor remotely, but I have supplies and spare oxygen." Rael exchanged a look with Lyrian before responding. "Understood, Wayfinder. Initiating docking procedure." The process was smooth, despite their failing systems. Soon the docking port cycled open and the human stepped through. Commander Elias Rhodes was tall, broad-shouldered, and clad in a practical, worn-out flight suit. His short-cropped hair and sharp eyes gave him a no-nonsense look, but his posture was relaxed. "Hell of a spot you're in," Elias said, looking around the dimly lit corridor. "Let's get to work. Repairing more than just a ship." Elias moved with efficiency, assessing the damage as he connected a portable oxygen supply to the failing life support system. "You're lucky I was passing through. This sector is a ghost town." Rael studied the human as he worked. "Why did you respond?" Elias glanced up. "Why wouldn't I?" Lyrian, skeptical, crossed her arms. "No other species came. Either they didn't hear us or didn't care." Elias frowned. "That's not how we do things. Back home we have a saying, you don't leave a person stranded in the dark." Rael and Lyrian exchanged glances. Among the HFY, rescue missions were calculated based on survival probabilities. If the odds were too low, the stranded were considered lost. Elias grunted as he pried open an access panel. "Got any tools?" "Your reactor's shot, but I might be able to rig a temporary fix." Rael handed him the necessary instruments. As Elias worked, Rael couldn't help but ask, "Does humanity always answer distress calls?" Elias smirked. "Most of us do. We don't leave people behind. Not if we can help it." An unlikely alliance. Hours passed as Elias patched the power grid, restoring partial functionality to the reactor. It wasn't a full repair, but it would be enough to get them moving toward a nearby trade lane where they could request further assistance. Lyrian checked the console, her bioluminescence flickering with something Rael rarely saw: relief. This will hold. Elias wiped sweat from his brow. Good. I'll guide you to a safe route. You should make it from here. Rael took a step forward. You saved our lives. Elias shrugged. Just doing what's right. Rael hesitated, then extended his arm in the traditional Athery gesture of gratitude. You have proven that humans are more than what the rumors say. Elias grinned and clasped Rael's forearm. And you're not as cold as the rumors say. Lyrian let out a small chuckle. Perhaps our people could learn from yours. Elias nodded. And maybe ours could learn from yours. Future changed. As the Wayfinder disengaged and drifted away, Rael watched the human ship disappear into the void. He had expected to die in this forgotten sector, abandoned by the galaxy. Instead, a lone human had arrived, not for profit, not for gain, but simply because he had heard their call. As Rael turned back to the controls, he realized something profound. Humanity was still new to the stars, but they carried something rare. A willingness to reach out into the darkness, simply to bring others home. And that might change everything. Epilogue: a new path. Days later, the Serenth reached a major trade route, broadcasting their thanks to the unknown human who had defied the odds. Rumors spread across the stars of a Terran who had saved an Athery crew without hesitation. Back on Earth, Elias Rhodes received a single transmission from the Serenth. A simple message: if ever you are lost in the void, know that an Athery will answer. Elias smiled. Perhaps humanity had gained more than allies. Perhaps they had gained friends.